So what's this, episode 4?
Episode 4.
Geez, we are absolutely powering through this Jimny maintenance. So what have we got planned for today?
So today we're going to be looking at driveline fluids. So we're going to do automatic transmission fluid, transfer case and rear diff. We of course did the front diff in the last episode, which was the swivel hub rebuild. So check that out if you haven't already seen it.
Yep, and we also got that cabin air filter. So we'll get some nice, fresh coolness coming through the cabin.
Let's crack on.
Can I have a pillow? Many thank yous. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to start at the rear diff and then work our way forward. I've given these a bit of a spray with a bit of WD-40 and we're using our special 10mm square drive. You want to use that one, otherwise you can risk rounding these and then you're going to be in strife. So I'm going to start by undoing the fill plug and then the drain plug, and that's going to make sure that I'm going to be able to fill this back up and that it's going to flow nice and easily. So I'm going to tap that in with a hammer. Gently does it now. And then if I can get 3.5 prayers, again demonstrating the amazing extendo ratchet.
Nice.
There she goes.
Just cracked, yeah.
Well, that went better than I'd expected.
Got the drain pan under there already because you might get a bit coming out now. Oh, that doesn't look good.
That looks
wow.
Weird.
That's got water in it, I reckon. There's metal in there too. Far out. So if you saw the last video, our front diff oil looked great. It was really clear, still honey consistency. You also shouldn't get very much coming out when you remove the fill plug because it should be at the level of the fill plug. Probably good that we're doing it then.
Interesting.
Maybe this is why we've been getting bad fuel economy.
What we can do, Brad, is just put this back, close our eyes and pretend nothing happened. I suppose I can just put this in temporarily. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, the drain plug tends to be a bit looser.
All right. Do you want to do this?
No, you can do it.
So glug, 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 and then smooth.
Yeah, that's why you always take the fill plug out first because you'll see there how it flows a lot better.
Oh, look at that. The service in this place is just phenomenal. Really have to give it to you, Bradley. For those of you at home, let's see how much comes off. Ooh.
So we're looking for metallic fragments that have stuck onto that magnetic drain plug there.
Yeah, pasty, thick.
Yeah, it looks like there's a fair bit stuck on there though.
Yeah.
We're going to replace all the plugs and gaskets today anyway. We weren't sure what condition they'd be in. So should we leave that to drain for now and then we can fill it up later?
Yep. ATF?
Yep.
Wicked. Right, Chadley, what do we need to do for the ATF again?
So for the ATF, it's a little bit different to doing the other fluids because you can't just drain it all and then fill it all back up again. You only get a little bit of it out. So we need to go through a bit of a process first, check what the level's at, and then put in that much that we take out. You need to do it when the car's hot as well. So we've just taken it for a drive before.
How does one turn this beast on, Bradley?
So you jump in. Obviously, Luke has been lying down while he's been driving.
Yep.
Oh, we should probably open up the garage as well, just so that we're not gassing ourselves.
Yep, that's a wise move. It's comfortable.
Lovely.
Oh, is this not push to start?
So yeah, run the car. In park, handbrake on. We'll grab a bit of paper towel, grab that dipstick out. Just watch the exhaust because it's right near there.
Is it mandatory to stick your tongue out while you're grabbing it as well?
I learned that from Michael Jordan. So yeah, we're gonna wipe that off a bit, pop that back in and make sure you push it all the way down past the little clip that holds it on. It's a bit awkward this, to be honest. All right, that's just clicked. I can feel that's all the way in. Foot on the brake and just on the gear shifter down here, I'm just gonna move from park all the way to the bottom and then all the way back up to park again. So I'm not gonna go past drive because that's all in the same gear. And then we can dip it. So press the little lever down and pull it out. You just want to see where the level's at. You've got a hot mark and then 2 little holes, and you want it to be somewhere near the top one for full. And the reason we're checking this is because when we refill it, we're going to put in the same amount that came out. If it wasn't at the right level to begin with, we need to adjust the amount we put back to suit that. So that's looking good, so I'm going to pop that back in. Right, so now we're ready to jump underneath, and this is the automatic transmission sump here with the drain plug bolt, and we're just behind the engine, so you can see the engine sump there where you drain your engine oil. So it's a 14mm, and we've got ourselves a second drain pan just so we can do them both at the same time.
Yeah, and just reiterating as well, we need to measure. We'll put it in this and then we'll pour it into a tub that we can measure it in.
Yeah, so start with an empty drain pan definitely for this one.
Yeah.
Not very tight.
Good stuff.
So we're expecting what, 1 to 2 litres I think it was, somewhere in that vicinity. There we go.
Nice and clean.
All right, so we're going to leave that to drain for a little while. ATF tends to take a bit of time to drain. Oh.
What?
I just dropped the plug in the oil.
Bradley!
I was trying to clean the plug and it slipped out of my hands.
This is literally why we can't have nice clothes.
So for the rear diff and the transfer case and things of that nature, we like to use the
Things of that nature, eh? What else is of that nature, Bradley? Anyway, what are we putting in the rear diff?
Take the lid off. We're going to be using an 80W90 by Castrol. You want to be using 1.35 litres, so we'll need to use 1 and a bit of these. It's the same oil that we used for the front diff in the last video.
Don't spill it.
This is all the training from filling my Land Cruiser with engine oil. Steady Hand Pro. Now don't worry too much about reading the measurements on here, because we're basically just going to be filling up the diff until oil starts to flow out of the fill hole anyway. I've overfilled that a little bit, I'll be honest.
Yep. All right, rear diff.
Yep.
Here we come.
Magnetic drain plug, tapered with a bit of thread tape already on there to help it seal, because there's no gasket on these tapered ones. Does look a little bit different to the old plug, but that's the right part number according to our sources. So
Bradley, just for reference, for the drain plug, you're going to need 27 of Newton's finest meters.
how many of feet's finest pounds is that?
19 and a half.
Oh, he's good. It's looking heaps better already. All right, so we'll thread that in by hand. Don't forget to put the drain plug in first, otherwise it's a bad day.
Nice.
Lovely. Tom thumb in the hole, and you just have to pump about 1,000,000 times to get your 1 litre in there. I'm making it sound worse than it is. It's actually...
Yeah, I know.
It's just because of the awkward position you lie in. It's just shoulder workout.
Well, when we were on the hoist with this thing, it was easy as.
It was a breeze. All right, so that's the first bottle out of the way. So while Luke is just filling up that bottle with the last little bit of fluid, it's a really good idea before you do start pumping in your last bottle to get your fill plug ready. So we've got a new fill plug, but you want to get your new gasket on there as well. Pop that onto the plug, and then you've just got that ready to go, so that as soon as your fluid starts coming out here, you can put it straight in.
Oh, there she goes.
All right, so pull that out, probably quicker than I did there. That was a bit slow, and then pop that back in. Lovely.
Look at that. It's all shiny.
Yeah, it's looking good. Bit of natural rust prevention on there as well.
And Newton actually asked for 50 of his finest meters.
Okay.
Or 36.2 foot-pounds, please, Bradley.
Is that a couple of love taps again? Get a bit of purchase on it there. So that's it for the rear diff. Very similar to the process for the front diff. It's just a different quantity of oil. Should we move on to the cabin air filter, do you reckon?
Yep.
Yeah.
This one's always a bit awkward to do, but anyway, we'll get there. Thankfully, I don't have to remove this glove box to do it. I need to basically get in underneath like a dolphin and
we'll pop the camera down there so they can see.
Yep. And there's that slot there. It's actually open at the moment, and that's why we needed that little cover. Otherwise, could have put something in, it just would have fallen out.
Yeah, we didn't have a cabin filter at the moment, so we're installing one and putting the door on.
It is actually scientifically proven, Bradley, to give 6.5 more horsepower.
Is it?
Yes.
That is specific, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. It does sit up there quite nicely without me doing anything, but we will just pop that little door thingy on.
So for the folks playing at home, this is the air filter that's going to filter cabin air, so air that's being pumped in by your aircon system. So it's a good idea to put that in.
Lovely. And now we'll get clean air coming through these. Do we reckon that ATF is drained enough?
Yeah, we could have a look at that.
Ready for a bit of fillage in the village?
When you do this, the drain plug on the ATF actually has a crush gasket, so you want to grab a new one of those. We'll put the part number for that on screen.
That's very handy of you, Bradley.
And we're just going to put that plug in by hand. Torque wrench, 14mm socket, 16 foot-pounds, not very much. So
no.
You'll have to compress that gasket a little bit as well.
Hang on.
This old chestnut.
Is it? Don't tell me it's a strip.
I'm telling you that. It was already though. I've hardly touched it, but it was that loose when we undid it.
Okay, so that'll have to do. Let's start filling it up. Oh, so let's measure this. I'll pull this out,
Yeah. That's not ideal. So here's an empty oil can that I prepared earlier. Doesn't really matter what one you use, but it does need to have the measuring markings on the side, those increments there. In this case, they're about 500mm for each of those lines. We're going to use that to measure how much we got out. So I'm going to pour this in now, nice and slow. On the plus side, the ATF's looking quite good.
Well, Bradley, you're just passing the 1 litre mark now.
Yeah, okay. So we left it for a while to drain.
You're almost at 2 whole litres, Bradley.
The manual we were reading was saying about 1 litre for a drain and fill. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, just below the 2 litre mark there for these 500 mil increments. So we're going to put in 2 litres. If you checked it before and it was a little bit low, you want to put a little bit more into account for that. You get the idea. So we've got our new ATF. We want a Dextron 3. So Castrol ATF Dex 3 meets that. Take your dipstick out and we're just going to put that over to the side because you actually fill your ATF through the hole that the dipstick slides into, through that tube. So you want a funnel with quite a specific narrow end on it and ideally quite long as well. Somewhere around like a 1/2 inch or 12 mil end on it or smaller.
Beautiful. He's got the double funnel going.
You want to pour quite slowly when you do this because it's quite a narrow tube that you're pouring into, and obviously the funnel itself as well. You can easily make it overflow if you go too quickly. Ask me how I know. Pouring on the side like this is the way to do it because then you don't get any glugging. It lets the air escape as you're pouring, or the air flow in I should say.
Now these pro tips are provided to you free of charge by the boys at Second Gear Low, so if you can like and subscribe below, that would be very much appreciated.
Alrighty, that's looking good. Just under 2 litres. We did measure it, so we're pretty confident of getting the right amount, but you do want to run the car, get it up to temperature, and then just follow that same procedure we went through at the beginning to check the level.
Next on the list, for our final act,
transfer case. This one has tapered plugs on the filler and the drain. Could you just point to the fill plug, Luke? That's up the top.
Yeah, it's up here.
So there's your drain plug there. We'll do the fill plug first, same reason as before. We'll get some good drainage.
Idea.
We haven't WD-40'd these, so just be careful.
Yeah, no. I just figured, yeah, because they're all...
They shouldn't be very tight, yeah.
Ready? Are you...
Ready to catch?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, nice.
Always have to do his job for him, you see.
Whole transfer case moves a bit, but that's all right. That's what 16 foot-pounds will do to you. Bonus question, do you remember how much is going to come out?
1.13 litres, I believe.
Precisely 1.13 litres.
Precisely to the nearest millimetre. Oh no,
there's definitely some in there. You might not have caught that on camera, but that was right at the edge of the drain pan.
Perfectly placed.
Lucky we put it where we did. That's looking much better in comparison with the rear diff.
Yeah, heaps.
We've grabbed ourselves the new fill and drain plugs again just because we were replacing all the plugs. They're very, very similar part numbers and they look almost identical, but the difference is that that drain plug has a magnet.
And I suppose you're going to want the torque spec from me, aren't you, Bradley?
I already know it.
Do you?
16.6 pound-feet, 23 of your finest Newton meters.
We do have a bit of a leak going on. We've noticed in a few different spots, but we did look at it the other weekend and we figured out that the easiest way to actually fix those leaks is to take the gearbox out. So unfortunately, we're not going to have time this weekend, but hopefully in the future. Fill plug goes in.
Hang on.
No, it doesn't.
Have to fill it first.
That's true.
I do actually. You up there.
Yeah.
You fell for my trap card.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll talk this one up. If you could just do the whole job, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't this meant to be your job, mate?
There's a few options for this oil. We're using a 75W85 by Castrol.
If you look up Urban Dictionary, Struggle Town.
It's just such an awkward position. Rotator cuff's getting a workout today.
Yep. Beautiful.
Send. Same setting for both of these plugs.
I'm a percussionist, Bradley.
I should really get my torque wrench calibrated, eh?
Yes.
Amount of times it's been knocked against car parts off the charts.
I can just see your eyes in the corner of the shot.
Is that better?
No, it's just funny, like... Right. Well, Chadley, I think that's another job done. Fantastically executed. What's next? What do you reckon?
You know, your tie rod ends, your bushes for your front radius arms and things like that.
Yeah.
Just to continue to make the Jimny drive even better.
Even smoother. All right, let's get out of here. I'm getting gassed by diff fluid.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See you guys later.